For all its beauty and splendor, the wilderness can be a cruel teacher. The feeling of accomplishment from conquering a mountain is exhilarating, but it can be a dangerous illusion if one is unprepared. This false sense of triumph can be a deadly trap, masking the genuine dangers awaiting the unprepared climber. Mountaineering is not a game. It is a battle against nature's raw power, and arrogance or ignorance can turn this pursuit of glory into a fatal misadventure. Let's venture back to the merciless mountains, where survival is earned, not given. This is Outdoor Disasters. Mount Fuji, with its majestic peak and symmetrical beauty, stands as a timeless symbol of Japan's natural splendor. 62 miles west of Tokyo, iconic Mount Fuji is one of Japan's three holy mountains. This iconic volcano, rising to 12,388 feet, or 3,775 meters, captivates hearts and minds with its serene yet commanding presence. Its allure is not just in its stunning vistas, but in the deep cultural and spiritual significance it holds. For centuries, poets, artists, and pilgrims have been inspired by its grandeur, weaving it into the fabric of Japanese identity and tradition. The mountain's history is rich and multifaceted, from its formation thousands of years ago to its role as a sacred site for Shinto and Buddhist practitioners. Climbing Mount Fuji is popular during the official climbing season, which typically runs from early July to early September. There are several routes to the summit, with the Yoshida Trail being the most commonly used. The climb can be challenging due to altitude and weather conditions. Mount Fuji is located on the border between Shizuoka and Yamanashi prefectures. It is part of the Fuji-Hakone-Izu National Park. The last major eruption occurred in 1707, known as the Hoei eruption. Although it is considered an active volcano, it is currently dormant. Climbing Mount Fuji is more than a physical journey. It is a pilgrimage of the soul, offering moments of reflection and awe as one ascends through its diverse landscapes. From lush forests at the base to the barren, windswept summit, each step reveals a new facet of Fuji's character. The view from the summit, where the horizon stretches endlessly, is a reward beyond words. Mount Fuji is not just a natural wonder, but also a symbol of Japan's cultural heritage and natural beauty. For Tetsu Shiohara, his Mount Fuji climb would be a catastrophe. Tetsu Shiohara, a 47-year-old man originally from Ehime Prefecture in Japan, lived alone in a remote area of Tokyo. Online, he went by the name Tetsu, streaming his daily life, though his views and subscribers remained modest despite his efforts over several years. Shiohara's life took a dramatic turn when he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Opting to live life fully rather than continue his career as a lawyer, Tetsu sought new challenges. Despite doctors' grim prognosis, he chose to undergo treatment, holding on to hope and often expressing optimism in his broadcasts. Tetsu's decision to leave his career and engage in risky activities suggested he may have harbored doubts about his future. Known as a kind and quiet person, he rarely showed anger. In his live streams, Tetsu could be seen embarking on challenging hikes, cycling around Tokyo, interacting with his followers, running marathons, and climbing the iconic Mount Fuji. A month before his final climb, Tetsu mentioned in a stream his desire to climb the mountain after a snowfall, acknowledging the dangers, but expressing intrigue. When it gets too cold, the snow becomes hard and dangerous, but I think it would be interesting. Tetsu had successfully climbed Mount Fuji many times during the official climbing season, which ended on September 10, 2019. However, feeling confident in his familiarity with the mountain, he decided to attempt it once more. Mount Fuji is notorious for frequent snowstorms and various other hazards that make climbing extremely dangerous. Even during the brief summer season, when amenity stations are staffed and climbers can access toilets and lodging, the trek remains cold and slippery. There are no real measures in place to prevent people from attempting the climb on their own. In the off-season, the stations close and the mountain conditions become hostile and inhospitable. Proper gear and climbing experience are essential for a winter ascent, both of which Shiohara lacked. Despite this, on the morning of October 28, 2019, he set off to climb Mount Fuji and livestream the climb, even though the mountain was officially closed to climbers. Traveling by bus, Tetsu tweeted about his doubts, fear, and bus sickness, expressing a desire to turn back. Yet, likely feeling the pressure not to let his followers down, he pressed on and arrived at the 5th station area at the base of Mount Fuji, the farthest point accessible by car. On the late October day when Shiohara attempted to climb Mount Fuji, the mountain received its first snowcap of the year, and temperatures near the summit plunged below freezing. Forgetting his socks and wearing only street clothes suitable for a typical October day in Tokyo, and carrying nothing more than a pair of climbing poles, Tetsu fired up his smartphone to Livestream on Nikoniko, a Japanese video sharing platform, titling his video, "Let's go to snowy Mount Fuji." Engaging with his followers, he began his ascent from the Fuji Subaru Line 5th station up the Subashiri Trail, a path most climbers use only for the descent, disregarding the fact that the climbing season had ended. A text-to-speech voice narrated his comments as he hiked, but apart from this, Tetsu was entirely alone on his climb. As he reached the 6th station, the clearly abandoned amenity station signaled that Tetsu would have no support during his ascent. Viewers began tuning in, following his cheerful jaunt up the ash-covered trail. Ash soon gave way to snow and then to deep snow. Tetsu's viewers were now witnessing a litany of complaints about his cold, numb hands. He continued his social media commentary, juggling climbing poles and his smartphone with frostbitten fingers, insisting the show must go on. "My fingers are killing me, but I have to operate my smartphone. I should have brought a hot pack," he remarked. His viewers noticed the trail narrowing, the protective fence ending, and Tetsu perilously close to the brink. He had passed the point of no return. "Oh, this place is slippery, getting dangerous," he belatedly noted. "I'm trying to walk by the rocks. Yes, rocks. It's a steep downhill." At this juncture, having crampons to grip the icy terrain would have been crucial. Still, Tetsu was wearing only regular hiking shoes as he continued past the end of the safety fence into uncertain territory. The slope at that point was 30 degrees. As he continued his play-by-play march along an increasingly risky path, Tetsu frequently cautioned himself against falling. His inappropriate footwear began failing him, causing him to trip and stumble. More than once, he questioned whether he was on the right track. Near the peak of the mountain, Tetsu started commenting on how dangerous this particular section was, especially due to its slipperiness. His viewers chimed in, begging him not to slip on his final ascent, but still encouraging him to continue. Excited and not wanting to let his viewers down, he began rushing toward the peak, fumbling with his phone while carrying his hiking poles with entirely numb hands. He encountered what he estimated to be a 30-degree incline. Astonishingly, Tetsu was close to the summit, which was in clear view. "Wait, I'm slipping!" he exclaimed, still live streaming. As he slowly lost his footing, Tetsu began sliding down the mountain, unable to stop. Tetsu began an uncontrolled slide down the rocky, snowy slope, with viewers witnessing a spectacle of flailing feet and tumbling poles. A few seconds later, the phone footage abruptly stopped, with the final chilling image showing a climbing pole frozen in mid-flight, likely due to the camera hitting the rocky terrain. This left all the spectators in shock, uncertain if he had managed to stop himself, fallen off a cliff, was injured, or even still alive. Viewers quickly clipped the video and shared it on Twitter, expressing their concern for Shiohara's well-being and alerting the nearby police in Yamashina, an area near the base of the mountain. A search and rescue helicopter was dispatched to survey the area, but they found no trace of him and had to give up shortly after. A 10-man search party was then assembled to find Tetsu as quickly as possible. They searched for the entire rest of the day, but could not find any trace of Tetsu. They didn't find anything the next day either. However, on the afternoon of the 30th, they discovered what remained of Tetsu near Mount Fuji's 7th station. His body was crumpled on the ground. The location was about 2,545 feet, or 776 meters, from where Tetsu had originally fallen. His body was so severely damaged that, despite being confident it was him, they were not able to identify the body at first officially. There was no identification on him and his phone was missing. By early November, the body was officially identified as Tetsu's. Authorities closed the mountain to all climbers shortly after the incident, with local police citing increased dangers that season. Temperatures were below freezing near the top of the 12,388 feet volcanic mountain when Shiohara began his ascent. The death of Tetsu Shiohara demonstrated the perilous nature of Mount Fuji despite its majestic and inviting appearance. The live streamer's multiple successful trips to the summit may have given him an inflated sense of confidence, leading him to believe he could climb out of season safely. However, the official climbing period exists for a reason. Hiking outside of this period is extremely dangerous, and if something goes wrong, help is very far away and might not arrive until it's too late. In 2017 alone, 7 people lost their lives climbing the mountain during the off-season, and over 80 hikers were injured. A Russian hiker was crushed when huge rocks fell onto her, destroying her heart and lungs. Tetsu was not the only person to lose his life on Mount Fuji, but he was probably the only one to live stream his ascent. Many criticized Shiohara for his decision to climb the mountain, pointing out his lack of proper gear and disregard for the closed climbing season. Some even accused him of having a death wish, or at least a lack of regard for his own life. Cruelly, he was awarded a Darwin Award by a website that describes itself as commemorating those who improve our gene pool by removing themselves from it in the most spectacular way possible. However, as more details about his background and his battle with cancer emerged, public opinion began to shift towards sympathy. Tetsu Shiohara was a man whose spirit of adventure and resilience defined his life. Bravely battling cancer, Tetsu embodied a determination to live life to the fullest while he had the time. However, his decision to climb Mount Fuji during the perilous winter season proved tragically reckless. His untimely passing serves as a poignant reminder of the dangers inherent in challenging nature's formidable forces. Tetsu's story, marked by determination, now stands as a cautionary tale for all. The mountain is indifferent to your dreams and aspirations. It demands respect and readiness. Climbing without proper preparation is not just reckless, it is a blatant disregard for your life and the lives of those who might have to risk theirs to rescue you. In the end, a moment of pride is never worth the potential cost of your life. The official climbing season for Mount Fuji is from early July to early September. Climbing outside this period can be extremely dangerous due to weather conditions. Always check the weather forecast before your climb. Be prepared for rapid changes in weather, especially at higher altitudes. Wear layered, moisture-wicking clothing to adjust to temperature changes. Ensure you have a warm, windproof, and waterproof jacket. Use sturdy, waterproof hiking boots with good ankle support and traction. Bring trekking poles, a headlamp or flashlight, gloves, a hat, and crampons if climbing outside the official season. If the terrain is snowy and icy, always wear crampons to prevent slips and falls. Begin your climb early in the morning to avoid descending in the dark and give yourself ample time to complete the climb. Climb at a steady pace to prevent exhaustion. Take regular breaks and stay hydrated. Stick to marked paths and trails. Straying from the path increases the risk of getting lost or injured. Climbing with a partner or group is safer. In case of an accident, having someone with you can be crucial for assistance. Inform someone about your climbing plans and expected return time. This information is vital for rescuers in case you run into difficulties. By adhering to these precautions, you'll protect not only your own life, but also the lives of those who might risk theirs to rescue you. Ultimately, no moment of pride is worth the risk of an outdoor disaster. Thank you for watching. Want more outdoor disaster content? Check out these stories I believe you'll enjoy.